Hello Brony, it is Alan, it is Brony time, and welcome back to Let's Play the Hayseed Knight. It's been about a week since I last played, and, well, we should reach the conclusion of Chapter 1 today, so let's just get right back where we left off.
Just who do you think you are?
Who do you think I am?
That was just Cee's voice. But as much as he tried to find her, Hatter couldn't see her. In fact, he couldn't even move at all. Wait a minute, how did you know this? How... Do we have an unreliable... How did you know this? Did he tell you? That's so strange.
What? Ugh, I won't fall for your bar and mind tricks, Gazelle. I don't care if you're Hayseed or Hayseed. Only nobles are allowed to walk the royal pathway. No exceptions!
I felt a lump in his throat as he unwillingly looked over the railings that he was leaning against.
I don't suppose you expect me to jump off the bridge.
The younger guard opened his mouth to reply, but his partner cut in line.
Can't you see that you're scaring her, you dimwit? Take a step back!
What? But she's trespassing.
Younger guard got smacked in the head for his efforts.
Settle down, boy! You forgot to clean your ears this morning or what? She said she's Hayseed. Hayseed! This girl's far more than nobility, see? She's a queen! The queen of the desert rose, no less. Now that's what I call a fancy title.
Queen of the Desert Rose.
Call it whatever you please. It won't change the fact I am the one and only Hayseed, and you are a dear with good taste. You must have heard my name in 100 whispers. So, just imagine how terribly worried Miss Rochelle will be if her favorite girl doesn't make it home before dawn.
Liar! There's no way the Desert Rose would have someone like you! Your kin shouldn't even be outside after curfew!
My kin? You mean gazelles who could buy your whole street?
So much for the open-minded youth. Forgive this fool, your majesty. He's so uptight I think he sat on his spear. I'm sure you know his kin. A fawn like him wouldn't know royalty if it spat in his face.
Is there interpersonal conflict? Interesting. Well, he does have different horns than he does.
He's got a point, though. Any gazelle could sneak up here and say she's a queen because she's the daughter of a goat with a bald spot on her head. You understand, right? We can't just take your word for it. Nothing personal, of course. It's just common sense.
This guy feels like he's channeling Patrick Warburton.
Here's a thought. Why don't you sway us with a little dance? I'm sure that Hayseed would do anything for her subjects.
Ah.
What are you saying, you numbskull? We're on duty, and she's not even a... three's sake! We should just drag her to the dungeon and end this nonsense!
Yeah, spare me the lecture, kid. Hey, do one of those bar and dance things. That'll shut him right up. You know, the one with the fire and the bells and the...
The older guard cupped his chest and pretended to dance as he cackled, much to the revulsion of everyone involved. I could feel the tip of his tongue scraping against his teeth, far smaller and more well-aligned than he ever remembered them being. His patience was growing worryingly thin.
I could dance for you, if you don't mind having an early cremation.
Huh? Was that a threat just now?
Not at all. I'm just pointing out that I'm not dressed for the occasion. It would be a pity if your face was to catch fire and your skin burst into flames, turning your bones to charcoal inside your blazing corpse while your ashes moldered up here. Just because I didn't have a fireproof shirt.
Right. Well, it doesn't look like you have any other way to prove your words, Your Majesty.
Wow. She turned you down, so now, okay.
I suppose I don't, but I bet my good friend Illigrab could find a way to prove them for me.
and walk you all the way across the city on the off chance we find that fidget arse of a tree sitting at his desk? We don't get paid that much, little lady.
Victoria's smile crossed Adder's face, an opening at last.
I understand now. A discount isn't even remotely enough to cover the entrance cost of the Desert Rose on a poor, hard-working guard's salary. And that's not even adding the price of my performances.
The little guard's eyes shot open as he felt a few coins slipping into his hand.
Don't worry. I'm sure there's some places down the street that are better suited to your taste.
Going to the bride. Last-ditch effort, but it's a gamble. He remained transfixed by the money a moment longer, until something seemed to click in his head.
Who do you take me for, scamp? We are honor-bound city guards. We won't get buffed by the likes of you.
What? Come on! This was more than enough last time. Why isn't it working now?
Because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why it's not the same as last time. Not every guard, I guess, is, like, against his duty or whatever, or I don't know. The guards didn't react to that sentence at all. It was likely they hadn't heard her, and Jesse's voice sounded loud and clear in Adder's ears. That thought passed as soon as it came. The quick, anxious looks the old guard was directing at his partner became the new focus of Adder's attention. The moment they locked eyes, the answer you've been looking for became evident.
Of course. I should have noticed sooner. He's a new recruit, isn't he? Look at him. So eager and uptight. So focused on proving his worth to the captain. So predictable. You couldn't possibly trust someone like him with a bribe. He's too different from your old partner. But you couldn't trust that one either, could you? No, he knew too much. And he wasn't half as jaded as you are. His heart wasn't really in it. Aha, I see. You had a feeling he would end up going after you. So, you sold him out first. That's why he's here.
Wait, what? Of course, I should have noticed sooner. He's a new recruit, isn't he? Look at him, so eager and uptight, so focused on proving his worth to the captain. So predictable. You couldn't possibly trust someone like him with a bribe. He's too different from your old partner. But you couldn't trust that one either, could you? No, he knew too much, and he wasn't half as jaded as you are. His heart wasn't really in it. Okay. I'm sorry, I was so... I must have spaced out or something.
How did you...
What? So she's telling the truth? You take bribes?
No, well, maybe if it's enough. I mean, come on. It's just a goddamned bridge. What's the matter if we let rich people in at this point? They're no different from nobles. But I swear, I'd never gotten money from this. No, I'd never even seen this. Gazelle?
The guard's face contorted into a deeply wrinkled scowl. He looked beyond confused, lost. The song was reaching its final notes.
Looks like your friend has a bad case of guilty conscience. That's okay. I'm no one to judge. Just let me go this time. I promise I'll be a good girl and head straight home. You won't even know I've been here.
Adder started to walk, a little spring on his step as something he barely recognized as his tail wagged behind him. He felt above the moon, completely drunk from this power trip, but he was far from safe still. A strong hand clasped Adder's wrist tightly. This told him all he needed to know, that this body wasn't his body, and this mind wasn't his mind.
Who else could it have been? You are the Jesse, aren't you? You really could buy this whole street if you wanted. It was you! It was you all along! What did you do to me?
Is he gonna make the claim that she fucking mind controlled him or some shit? I feel like that's what he's gonna do.
I only gave you money.
You gave me cursed money! No! You cast a spell
There it
on
is!
me.
Okay. God.
What in the world are you rambling about now? You sound like a madman!
Yeah, that's right. I have gone mad. It's not my fault. I'm not really a crook. She's a Sephi! She must have charmed me to do all those bad things! We're on to you, witch! Confess!
Jesus Christ. Oh god, why do I want to punch this guy in the face? Like, seriously, man? It's so weird, like... They're both prejudiced. But, like, apparently this guy draws his line at this, because even now he's like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? Every last fiber of her body was screaming at her to run. Jasif knew each and every corner of the royal pathway. She could have just hidden somewhere or outran two guards wearing heavy armor. That was the correct option. It was obvious to her, but this was not the choice she made. She pulled close to him and moved a smirk towards his ear instead.
I wouldn't waste any magic on you.
Damn! Got him! There wasn't any trace of fear in Jasif's mind as the guard grabbed her collar and pushed her against the railing. Not a speckle of resignation. It wasn't bravery either. There was nothing but anticipation. Adder didn't know the name of the eerie warmth that was creeping into her chest as he watched the tip of his spear turn towards him in slow motion. He had never felt anything quite so peaceful and thrilling before. But to her, this lost battle seemed to be worth as much as a victory. After all, she had been playing with fire her whole life. Getting burnt was an eventuality she had been ready to accept for years. She was tired of making choices. Practice of a second before the end of her life could be sentenced. A scream shook the night.
Get your mitts off her, you creep!
Everyone turned around to look at the idiot yelling all the way down on the ground.
Think you could just bother her last because she looks good enough for second helpings and then dessert? Well, you can't, alright? That's radish stew, and you'd make your mom cry if they knew. Let her go!
Adder had most certainly gone crazy.
What's up? Oh, get lost, Sanford! This is official city business! It's got nothing to do with you!
Sanford, huh? Oh my god. I will tell you one thing, this game does like a really good job with this, even amongst... It's so weird. Prejudice is so weird. Sanford. What? Oh, this makes no sense. This makes almost as no much sense as all that anti-German sentiment in the 1800s are. What the fuck? Man.
City business, my ass! You're holding a gal up against the wall! I ain't got nothing to do with it, but it's still got everything to do with me! If it's so official, I'm gonna scream till the whole city wakes up and sees this!
No, you're not! Do something, rookie! Get rid of that drunkard!
So
What,
he's
you want me to
drunk.
throw my spear at some poor horn-eater now?
Oh boy.
Who are you calling a horn eater? Just hold up there!
Adder, the pudgy version of Adder, that is, wasn't concerned with matters such as his complete lack of grace, agility, or strength. Moved by a sense of justice, he began climbing the column that led to the royal pathway. Of course, he never made it.
Are you still alive? Horn-eater!
Aw, poor kid. We can't just leave him to die all on his own. Guess he'll be jumping off the bridge yet, witch.
Puzzling as it seemed was, Jasif realized that she didn't have another second to lose. With the guard hand still firmly wrapped around her collar, pushing her back, Jasif threw all her weight on one leg, using her tail as leverage to complete a practice spin that ended with her knees sinking deep between the deer's legs. Oh god, she kneed him in the balls. He immediately dropped him to the ground, but it wasn't quite enough to knock him out.
You little...
You don't hit a man there, ever!
That's enough. Let's go.
but she kicked me. And she's a witch.
I have no clue what this gazelle is or what she's not, but I can tell just fine what you are. I'm not leaving you another second with her. Get that old ass back to the barracks or I'm telling Illigrab what you just did!
Oh, yeah, I was thinking... Murder. Oh, yeah, he just tried to kill her. That's what he means by he's gonna tell her what he did. So... It was the older guard's turn to go pale. He lowered his helmet and began limping in the other direction. The younger guard, however, stood in front of her a moment longer.
You, go home and don't let me catch you up here again.
Well, that was a complete 180. The thief only allowed herself to breathe easy once both guards had disappeared from sight. Pride filled her lungs faster than air.
Good riddance.
She wasn't quite out of the woods yet, but she decided to savor this victory. A moment of peace, which Jacif took to look over the railing one last time. Her wannabe savior now lay unconscious on the ground after hitting his head during the fall. And in spite of how miserable the scene was, Adder could feel a smile forming on her face. He finally understood that, crazy or not, he was seeing what she was seeing, the way she saw it.
Did I scare him good?
Is he bleeding there?
Huh? You're awake? How in the name of Oblivion can you be conscious after a fall like that? You must be at least 5 stories high. Are we even trying to... No. That doesn't matter now. Are you hurt? Should I call a doctor?
It looks like he's bleeding.
Are you all right, ma'am?
No, I'm not hurt. So, yes, that was nothing. I'm fine, thank you.
And that's all this book needs to feel fit as a fiddle.
What? No, I'm rather certain that's not how bodies work.
Oh, no, ma'am. You're thinking normal, dear. I'm something else entirely.
Drunk is what you must be.
I sure hope not. It'd be a real shame if some barrel fever ruined the memory of your pretty face.
It wouldn't make much of a difference either way.
What was that, ma'am?
Cad! You are a cad! Does this look like a good time to be flirting to you?
Sorry. My cat distracted me. Well, not my cat, but I sure hope not. Would be a real shame if some barrel fever. Okay, yeah. Okay. A distant yell bounced through the columns, nearly sending Jacif's heart straight out of her chest.
Flirting, but it sure looks like a good time to get walking.
Then get up and walk! I can't just leave you to your fate now!
No, you ain't. You ain't leaving no one, ma'am. Slum dwellers like me come a door a dozen. I'll just play dead for a while and see if I can spend the night in the morgue.
Ha ha! More patrols were surely drawn closer by the minute, demanding she made a choice.
This
Pronto.
doesn't end here, understood? I will make it up to you somehow, so don't you dare die until then. Promise you won't forget it.
Well, we already know he did.
Whoa, wait, hold up. Who am I supposed to look for? I didn't even catch your...
Neither Adder understood why she chose to run then, but she ran. She ran before that pitiful buck lying on the ground could finish voicing his request, pretending she hadn't heard it. But the answer she didn't give to the question he couldn't ask lingered a little longer in the space between old hopes and delusions, a sight that Adder found too engrossing to realize that he was being left behind. Now the gazelle was far out of his reach, and with every step he felt her slipping away from his grasp a little further. He tried to keep up, but his legs wouldn't respond if it wasn't to her command. He tried to breathe, but he wasn't the master of his own lungs. His sight went dark, and his ear turned deaf, a violent torrent of foreign thoughts clobbering his brain as his mind dissolved back into the nether. And as suddenly as he leapt, he found himself one-eyed, famished, and back in that tent. Indeed, this had to be him. The same gazelle was still breathing over his snout, blue eyes fixed on him, with intensity of the burning sun. But who cares about having the greatest beauty they've seen in their life all over their body? Not Adder anymore! No! A million questions filled his mind. Was that the real life? Was it just fantasy? Were any more of his memories slipping through the many cracks in his flogged skull? Or had starvation finally started to take a toll upon his very brain? As was usually the case, however, his lips refused to wait for a finished script. The race passed out of his mind, offering an answer to the only question he had never even asked. Sep. Real name? This word, so short and unassuming, seemed to awaken something in a girl that Ada was almost too dazed to recognize. He couldn't tell why her ears perked up, or why his gaze was immediately drawn to her horns and the beautiful mass of red locks she was desperately pulling behind them. Disconcert washed away all conceit from her expression. It took away all the mesmerizing superiority from her eyes. Yeah, she looked honestly and utterly tiny for a moment. Scared?
Where did you hear that?
Where did I... Oh! Ma'am, you're okay! You're gonna think I'm crazy, but I heard you say it just now. But not now. It was a long time ago. I was under Hirup's statue. I mean, you were, but I was you and not me because I was trying to save you, but I fell on my face and those guards laughed at me and, just how the hell did I forget any of this? Why can't I remember?
Probably because you were drunk as hell and you hit your head?
You're a gaze reader.
Anger hit her like a wave as the shock disappeared. Uh-oh. Get out of there, dude. Run as fast as you freaking can.
Why didn't you say so? Get away from me!
Interesting. What's that reaction? Is she mad that he read her thoughts, or is there like some, or is she just a... Oh, it said she was scared. So is being a gaze reader like a dangerous thing? Huh, interesting. The fire in the orb began flickering erratically, casting disturbing shadows all over the tent.
What's going on? What in the name of Atsa did I do now? Was I supposed to say something? Thank you. That's the magic word?
Do you seriously expect me to believe that you...
What?
Hold on. Sip? It was Sip, wasn't it? Oh crap, I just went and cussed a lady out in Gazelle speak, didn't I?
She looked at him with skepticism, her eyes squinted with barely concealed anger. She was clearly sizing him up.
No. You really don't have a clue of what you just did, do you?
Huh.
Ma'am, if I ever got a clue in my life, it wasn't today. I'm just glad you're alright and that guard is in the dungeon or dead or something.
His expression relaxed just a little as she considered uttered words. Our poor boy had more than enough trying to get some air into his lungs.
Then you're telling me that you're a natural gaze reader? Do you even understand what this means?
Do I have to say yes or no to get out of here alive?
I was pretty sure that he had made a perfectly legitimate question in regards to his survival, and this was no joking matter, but he was thankful all the same when a small chuckle erased all the tension from the gazelle's face. He didn't feel any less confused about this whole ordeal,
Think of it this way. I tried to sneak a glance into your past through a tiny keyhole, while you just barged into mine through a door I didn't bother closing. That's on me, yes. I didn't even consider for a second I'd need to keep my guard up around you. But to casually stumble upon the basics of Cepheid, just like that, innately, it's something unheard of among the Akain.
Yeah?
I guess it's true what they say about yellow deer. You must have Barhan blood.
Okay. So maybe that's why they called him a Sandfur, and apparently that's a negative thing. Because they're considered mixed. Once again, I can only base this off of, my experience with this stuff, so... He's mixed, or yellow deer are mixed blood, and therefore, they're bad, basically. Ada would have normally disputed the last affirmation. Rodeer took pride in being real deer, no gazelle blood at all, nope, 100% deer. With those that don't have horns. This was clearly not the moment nor the company to say that.
Cyrnar, please.
You read my mind.
Say what? I think I'm not the funny one here, Missy.
Gazelle seemed way too amused with this development.
No, it makes so much sense. I was wondering why you spent so much time looking at my face. Hear me out. I'm sure you've always been really good at getting people's feelings. But not smart enough to actually understand them. You're like some kind of savant hick. That's hilarious.
A wrinkle formed over Adder's snout. That was quite enough.
My name is Adder, not Hick, Miss Sepp. Now why'd you go hiding such a cute little name, I wonder?
Her face went back to being little more than a pretension of grandeur, but she held the fire close to her. She didn't look all that different from a child hugging her blanket, soothed by the rhythm of the bells she wore.
Just a stupid nickname someone gave me. I hadn't heard it in years. They call me Jacif now.
Jacif, as that disgusting guard well said, that was no average name, and much less for a
Ain't
bard.
that something like Queen in Gazelle speak?
Bazaktet. And yes, that's a valid translation. Do you have any qualms about it?
Adder did not have any qualms per se, nor any remote idea what that word meant to begin with, but he certainly had opinions on her supposed royalty. Maybe this one?
No. That's cool, Yasif. Did I say that right? I mean, if you need people calling you Queen to be happy...
Oh, don't project. Don't do that. Don't put feelings...
I don't need to be called anything to...
Adder didn't mean anything with that, but he somehow managed to say something rude all the same. She didn't finish the sentence, deciding instead to just look away.
Right?
She turned her face sharply towards his. There was something different in the way she was looking at him.
Adder, right?
That's me.
He took his hand to his heart and bowed his head as instinctive greeting, accidentally clashing his horns against hers. He was surprised to find out that, somehow, that was a lot less gross than he thought it'd be. And he didn't know how to feel about this appreciation.
Didn't you want to know your future? Then listen closely.
Oh! She put her mouth right next to his ear and whispered,
You're coming with me tonight.
Damn, that is a... Whew!
You really are one of a kind.
Oh my god, dude, she wants to sleep with you!
Come to the Desert Rose when the lights are all out. My room is on the first floor, but climbing there should be easier than climbing the bridge at the very least.
Wait, climb? Room? There you go saying weird stuff again. I'm not a thief, and I'm not a hoarding...
Without previous warning, the fire in the orb extinguished, leaving the room in total darkness. Adder didn't even have time to feel alarmed. He felt her hands on the back of his head, and next he knew, lips were over his. His mind shut up completely.
See you later.
He couldn't even stop to consider how he felt about that before the kiss was over. His mind still a daze, he got up and turned around to leave. For a few moments he stood frozen outside the tent, merely appreciating the cool dust breeze on his fur. By the time his thoughts began making any sense, he was already running home at full speed, crying disconsolately about the realization that he was, in fact, a horn eater. Oh, get over it. God damn it. Let's take a break here. I want to review what you've written so far.
What, you don't trust my writing skills?
No, obviously.
Feels good to be loved.
Really does.
So, Adder was a gaze reader, just like me.
Yes.
And he really was into Sepp in the end, which explains a few things.
A
If
few?
Durendorf had had an unlikely yet alluring, brief, intense romantic involvement, how would it have been called? Gitter? Adif?
Pandering.
Then I guess the only question I've got left is this going anywhere at all?
Wow. I did not expect that. This is just like, what if thought it was actually a gay relationship. What's that called? Pandering? Damn. Okay. Huh? What do you mean? You've learned a lot about your beloved knight already, haven't you?
Yeah, sure. Don't take me wrong. I like your take on the story so far. I just can't figure out how any of this leads to him becoming a knight, much less the knight.
Patience, little Nashgob, all shall be revealed.
Your major crush on Seth?
What?
You can put all the words you want in Adder's mouth. I know an obsession when I see one.
Go get your eyes checked
I'm
then.
gonna go back and count how many times you've mentioned her butt.
No, I just, that's it. You're not hearing another word about her.
What? Boo! This is a biased recount. I'm calling Radish Stew on this.
I never claimed to be objective, you tiny insurgent. It's my story, and I'll share it however I see fit.
Unbelievable! You are silencing the very truth you champion! Whatever shall become of Adder's story if you bereave us of the booty?
There are more characters in this story, you know.
Are you in love with them too? Okay, I'll take that as yes!
You know, looking back on it, there is someone I should have loved more. Honestly, she was a bit rough around the edges, and she wasn't always the easiest kid to be around. But the reward for persevering by her side was the unwavering loyalty of an iron-hearted
Sounds
friend.
like a nice girl.
Oh no, she was horrible and I hate her.
What?
Chapter 2. Chapter 2 goes to the feast, lessons on the matter of peaceful conflict resolution.
Hey! If it ain't my lil boss! How you doing, Aina? Having a mighty fine day?
Alrighty. So, here we are, Chapter 2. And we're going to stop right here for now. Yeah, so that concludes Chapter 1. So, Adder had the sexy times with, Sep, or he is going to, Sep, Joseph, whatever. Now we get into Chapter 2. So we're getting closer and closer to me being completely blind again. But we will continue on with Chapter... Well, actually, next chapter's lore. Next video's lore. But anyway, we'll get into that in the next video. Thank you all for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to BronyTime for more content, especially more of the Hayseed Knight. Also, please make sure to share this video far and wide. The first couple of episodes did really well, and I hope to keep that up. Excuse me, I will see you guys next time.